Good morning, everyone. I'm Ishika Negi, and I'm gonna start with the topic the essay Bacon. Firstly, the introduction. Francis Bacon, the father of English essays, the great English essayist who enjoys a glorious reputation. He belonged to the Elizabethan age. During the Elizabethan age, English essays was cultivated with great care by Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon was the child of Renaissance, which started in the later of 16th century and the first half of the composition into English literature. Prose style of Bacon's essay. Francis Bacon employed a unique style in his essays. This is important for lucidity, clarity, directness, sweeted and mathematical plainness. Bacon's prose style has its own defects and merits, but the balance in the favor of merits. His essays seem like a collection of short and pithy maxims with tremendous comparison. Each sentence can convey deep and concentrated meaning. Bacon wrote in an epigrammatical style. Three editions of Bacon's essay. Bacon sponsored this new literary form in English with the publication of his 10 essays in 1597. It grew to 38 in the edition of 1612. The number reached 58 in the final issue of 1625. These essays are the results of his direct observation of men and matters. Themes of Bacon's essay. The themes of Bacon's essay are various. They range from goodness to gardens and from enemy to mosques and tramps. The essay of studies is about books and reading. Here Bacon explains reason and purpose of studies at the same field, suggests the modes of selecting the books and manners of study. In Of Truth, he says that man does not care for truth. He mentions its reasons also. Bacon and Montaigne. Bacon borrowed the form of essay from Montaigne, the French essayist. Bacon and Montaigne shared the form of essay but not its spirit. Montaigne is personal, familiar, and prolific, but Bacon is formal, impersonal, and curt. Montaigne appeals to the heart, but Bacon to the head. Thus, these two great essays present a very sharp and interesting contrast. Dispersed meditation. Bacon charged his essays with serious spirits and stately manners of Seneca. For him, his essays are dispersed meditation and susceptible for detect thoughts. He is practical under the influence of Machiavelli. Utilitarianism is obviously in his essays. He shrewdly instructs how to lead a successful life. That is why his essays are called conseils, civil, and moral. At last, the conclusion. In short, Bacon was completely a Renaissance man. All the qualities of Renaissance were present in Bacon. In the history of English literature, his style is suited for all the spirit ranging from heaven to the earth. His essays are priceless acquisitions. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Today I'm presenting my presentation on university wits, and the question arises: who were university wits, or who were pre-Shakespeare's dramatists? Well, they were the predecessors of Shakespeare, who transformed the English drama. Uh, who transformed the English drama. They were all highly educated men with excellent knowledge of stage. They knew what worked on stage and what not. These dramatists were John Lely, Thomas Lodge, George Bailey, Robert Greene, Thomas Nash, Christopher Marlowe, Thomas, and Thomas Kidd. The seven dramatists were nicknamed University Wits, and this nickname was given to them by a journalist named George Sinsbury in the 19th century, long after their deaths. And it is considered that we cannot find a dramatist like them to this day. And They wrote from the year 1581 to 1593, and they transformed the English drama into a mature art. It was said that English drama was struggling before them, and they transformed it into a mature art. And they all were genius, talented men. They all got their degree from Oxford and Cambridge, except for one, Thomas Kidd. He did not get his degree from Oxford and Cambridge, but he studied from a good school and he was highly educated, and he also contributed as much as these six men into the drama industry. The first three, John Lely, Thomas Lodge, George Pillay, were from the University of Oxford, and the other three, Robert Greene, Thomas Nash, and Christopher Marlowe, from the University of Cambridge. It is said that they shaped the English drama for Shakespeare, and their dramas had heroic themes, and use of blank verse and strong lines in their plays. Now, their plays were very tragic and dark, but they lack a little bit of humor. So we will discuss about them one by one. First, we will discuss about John Lilly. So, John Lilly was born in the year 1554 and died in the year 1606. He was the oldest and considered to have the most artistic plays. He was also a writer and a poet. He got a name because of his book named Euphues, the Antimony of Wits, in the year 1578, and it also had a sequel which was named Euphues and his England in 1580. It was considered the best prose of that time, and it earned him a lot of name. Then he moved to plays or dramas. His first drama was Kempespe in the year 1584. He mostly wrote romantic comedies, and the uniqueness in his dialogue what made his plays so influential. His famous or remarkable works were Kempespe in the year 1584, Shafu and Paho in the year 1584, Edmund, The Men on the Moon 1588, Galatea 1588, Meadows in the year 1589, and Mother Bombi in the year 1559. The play Edmund, which earned him most name, it was about two lovers. Their names were Edmund and Kithia, and Kithia was a goddess, so that's why Edmund and Kithia could not get married. But in the end, Edmund was awoken by the kiss of Kithia. The other play we will discuss about is Kempespe. That was his first play written for stage, and it was also a love story about Almander and Thebian. Thebian was a captive of Kempespe, and the story revolves around them. And the last we will discuss about Mother Bombi, a wise woman. She was considered a wise woman, and it was a comic play and revolved around Mother Bombi. She was also considered a witch, and the story revolves around that, and the comic accidents happens around her. And the next university wit is Thomas Lodge. He was born in the year 1558 and died in the year 1625. Uh, he studied from the Trinity College of Merchant Taylor School. He was a classmate of Thomas Kidd. Later, he got his master's from the University of Oxford. And Thomas Lodge. Thomas Lodge was best known for his romantic prose, which was named Rosalind, and which inspired Shakespeare's As You Like It. He also contributed in the drama A Looking Glass for London and England with Robert Greene. He wrote an independent play, The Wounds of Civil War. His important works were Margaret of America, The Wounds of Civil War, A Fig of Momus, Defense, Defense of Plays, Rosalind, and Seleucus Metamorphosis. His plays inspired Shakespeare, his last play, Silica's Metamorphosis, inspired Shakespeare Venus and Anubis. Another university wit we will discuss today is George Pele. He was also considered a translator, poet, and dramatist. He was born in the year 1556 and died in the year 1596. He studied from the University of Oxford, and he was known for his versatility and urban and gracefulness treatment of his themes. Like Lele, he also wrote in blank verse with a musical ability in his dramas. His plays mostly were about pastoral, romantic tragedy, and comic chronicle history. He he was also known for his poetic style and decorative phrases. His important works were the famous Chronicles of King Edward I, the Battle of Alcazar, 1597, the Love of King David and Fair Bathsheba, and the Old Wife's Tale. The Old Wife's Tale was a drama which made him a lot of name. And we will now discuss about another university wit named George Green. Robert Greene. So Robert Greene was a member of both Oxford and Cambridge, and he was also a famous pamphleteer. His pamphlets were Greenes, brought with a million of repentance and quotes worth of wit. These three pamphlets were an attack on Shakespeare, and he considered him a copying artist, and he also considered that he will never grow up to their level. He also called him a crow who beautified with our feathers, in his pamphlet Course Worth of Wit. His famous works were Alphonsus, King of Aragon, The Looking Glass for London and England, History of Orlando Francisco, Friar Bacon and Friar Bungay, James the Fourth. Next, we will discuss about Thomas Nash. Thomas Nash was better known as a pamphleteer and writer of prose fiction for his work, The Unfortunate Traveller. The Unfortunate Traveller was also the first picaresque novel of England. A picaresque novel is a novel in which there was the hero was from a lower class, and the story of his adventures. He started his career in plays with the collaboration with Christopher Marlowe with the play Dido the Queen of Carthage, which also got him into a little trouble because it was a satire on Queen Elizabeth. Some of his works were The Unfortunate Traveller, Summer's Last Will and Testament, Dido the Queen of Carthage, The Isles of Dog, The Antimony of Absurdly, the Preface of Green Memphian. Now we will discuss about Christopher Marlowe. So Christopher Marlowe only lived for 29 years. He was born in the year 1564 and died in the year 1593. He only lived for 29 years, and he gave us more phenomenal dramas in his time. His death was also a controversy. His life and death was a controversy. All his life, he was considered a spy of Queen Elizabeth in the Roman Catholic Church, because Queen Elizabeth wrote a letter to the University of Cambridge for his master's degree, so he can go to Rome. And he died. He died in a fight. he was short-tempered and got into arguments very frequently. So he got into an argument, and someone stabbed him in his right eye. That's how he died. Some people consider that Christopher Marlowe is also Shakespeare, because they were both born in the same year, and they said that Christopher Marlowe became Shakespeare after his death, but it is all rumors, we cannot specify anything. His famous works were Tito the Queen of Carthage, Tamburlaine and Tamburlaine II, Jew of Malta, and Dr. Faustus Edward II. Dr. Faustus is also in our syllabus. It was a play about a scholar who then converts into a devil's priest and dies uh, very and dies after 24 years when he made a deal with the devil. Another we will discuss about Thomas Kidd. So we know that Thomas Kidd was not educated from any university, but he studied from the Merchant Taylor School. He was called the famous kid from Thomas Heywood, and our best in tragedy, he was called by Francis Marcis. Another, he wrote the Spanish tragedy, which was his most famous work. And his famous works were the Spanish tragedy and Robert Generous Concilia. This is all about the university words, and they were also considered to lay the foundation for journalism, because because in their pamphlets they criticized each other, and that's how they laid a foundation for journalism. And this is my presentation on the university words. Thank you, ma'am.